Rena.
I'm Rochelle.
And we've got some exciting news. Rochelle?
We're on YouTube. Yay! We're starting a podcast. We are now Porch Talks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's making me say it. With the Thunder Sisters.
Yep, that's right. We're Porch Talks, Thunder Sisters. So if you want to go find us on there, this video will be uploaded to YouTube after this because apparently we can't go YouTube live yet. So we're going to wait and we'll just upload the videos. It's better that way.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring it to you here first on Facebook Live, and then we'll be bringing it to you on YouTube.
Yeah.
So today we are just going to go over, since we didn't get to come yesterday, we're going to go over the Dr. Pepper case files with you guys.
Yep.
Someone had brought it, Chris had brought it to our attention the last time.
Yep. That the case had been moved from local circuit court to federal court. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we just want to really go over that. We told them that we would go over it and look at everything, and we did.
And why it's relevant to everything that's going on that we're talking about. Why it's relevant, some of our concerns. And it just shows, I think, kind of like the character, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Of the situation, maybe.
Yeah. And, you know, the fact that it's been moved to federal court is a big deal. It's a pretty darn big deal. Because, like Rena was talking to me about, it sets a precedent.
It can set a precedent.
Yeah, it can set a precedence, you know. We also had, we got contacted by parents' rights activists. Activists?
Parents' right advocate.
Advocate, that's it. I knew that wasn't right. That was really cool. She reached out to us. She's actually on a national level, and she stands up for parents' rights and all over the world.
Educates parents,
clicks us in. She got us on a website. I'm now an advocate for...
Associate?
Oh, no. An affiliate. Gosh. Oh,
so much going on.
We need more coffee. But I am now an affiliate with them, and so our little red mark is on a map, and when you go over there and you sign in on that map, it will ping more people on to our area. And so I will make sure in this video, down below in the comments, we're going to tag that to where you guys can go and you guys can stand up yourselves and start putting your name in there and plugging in to parents' rights, because we all need to be concerned about this.
Yep. And you just, you know, it's good to know your rights and the things that are happening on a state level and on a national level in our school system. So
thank you, Janita. She says, thank you for standing up for our children.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and so today we're just kind of going to bring awareness to the situation with the Dr. Pepper can case.
Yep.
We really need to go over that and get all of the facts straight.
And we want you to know the facts and why this is relevant and important. So,
well, I mean, there's like 29 pages of this case. I read every single one of them and went through them and printed off some of the things that I thought was relevant, and so we could talk to you about those things.
And get
because
some facts straight.
Not everybody's going to read those 29 pages. Let's just, you know. So, we also have some artwork to present. That's something as well that we wanted to show you guys that is going on. And that was at the Mountain View Elementary's artwork show.
Yep. So let's just
we're trying to reconnect. There it goes.
Okay. So I just thought it'd be kind of interesting. When you search up Dr. Pepper guns, okay, on YouTube or on TikTok, right? Because most kids have the TikTok app.
Yeah, everybody does
If you
TikTok
search up Dr. Pepper guns, you are going to find a whole list. Actually, I think it's of different ones that are on here.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is that it was a trend.
Yeah, it was a trend on TikTok. We actually, that's where we got our picture from for our Dr. Pepper can gun when we were sharing in support of Riley. I decided that we needed to do something just to support her in a way without being any type of way towards her case, but just to show that she is supported through parents. Because what they are doing and overreaching into her home, onto his Facebook, wasn't right.
Right.
So,
well, why don't you get the files and we'll go ahead and read kind of what it's about, and then we'll read what we've found in that. So.
Okay, so the first things were connecting. Okay. On page 5, number 19, it says defendant Tammy Heine, the principal, is and at all times relevant to this petition and was an employee at the district and the principal of Mountain View Birch Tree.
It doesn't, you
school district.
I'll let you go ahead and read that, but it doesn't, did you print off what the case was about?
No, I didn't print that off.
Yeah.
I printed off the relevant stuff.
But
anyways, it says she is being sued individually. So that was some confusion. We weren't sure if she was being sued individually, and she is.
Yep. Just to clear that up.
And then defendant Lana Tharp, the superintendent, is at all times relevant to this petition and is an employee at the district, and she is being sued individually. So we have that.
Yep.
And that says that here.
Yep.
And that is page 5 again, if you ever want to go look that up yourself.
So I'm going to read just the beginning of it real quickly. It says, let's see. This case is about a school district and school officials who misconstrued a post that the plaintiff, a 13-year-old boy, posted to social media in order to justify punishing him for creative expression protected by the First Amendment. Outside of school hours and while at home, the boy decided to mimic a trend he had seen on social media, which was can art, by gluing together Dr. Pepper cans in the shape of a rifle. He documented his work and posted it to his own social media as he had seen others do. In the photo, his creation was lying on the floor. The photo was accompanied by an audio selected from within the app, which is titled AK-47, with credits to...
And I believe that, too.
Yana, with a music beat and following voiceovers. This is the famous... I don't know if we should keep repeating that word, the name of the gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if we'll get dinged on that or not. But anyways, this is the famous AK-47. It is what it is. With over 50 million manufactured in 10 countries. And that gun is the most popular assault rifle in the world.
So, yeah, with that being read.
Yeah.
I mean...
He wasn't holding the can art. He was not holding the can art in his arms, nor was he displaying it in any manner that suggested that the can art can potentially be used to endanger any person. And the photo contained no threatening language or anything that would suggest harm to anyone or anything. Although the school district quietly became quickly became aware that the plaintiff had not threatened anyone, the school district decided that they must punish him. And message was sent in private after school hours and was not in any way connected with school activities, school transportations, or school technology. So that's important. So he did this, right? He posted this picture right here to his own social media,
and I believe
after school hours in his home. So that's important to note.
And I believe that the app selected the music, because if you put something in on TikTok, the app automatically puts music with it, and sometimes you don't
even think about it. Sometimes
I wasn't
you
even
just
aware.
Hit send,
and
you're
did
like,
that,
whoa,
and I'm like,
that?
I didn't mean to do that. So I had a song on one of mine when I posted about the Dr. Pepper can gun, and it was something so weird about, like, I didn't do that, or I like that, or something like that, or some crap. It's not an obsession.
Pay attention.
Not an obsession. It's not. And
when you're posting stuff.
That's not.
That's a lesson here.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
Anyways.
For Rochelle is what I'm talking about. Okay, so then it says, Lana Tharp, the Mountain View Birch Tree R3 superintendent, released the following statement. We have enough information to believe that the video has caused fear to at least one student,
One
and
student.
understandably so.
One student.
The safety and well-being of our students is our top priority, and we responded swiftly to address the concerns. Tharp admitted, we want to inform you that we have become aware of a rumor circulating on social media regarding a potential threat. Following a thorough investigation, we have found no credible evidence of any danger. Well, I'm glad she put out that statement.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's important to note on this that, they have a cyberbullying thing in their handbook, a policy in their handbook about cyberbullying, right? And the cyberbullying, it's offenses, right? And I have it right here. And the first offense is 1 to 2 days ISS. The second offense is 2 to 3 days ISS. And the third offense is 2 days OSS. Now, they just skipped him.
They didn't even follow their own policy.
They did not follow their own policy. So that's really important here when they want to say, we follow the rules and all that, but they didn't follow. He got OSS. He got 3 days OSS, and this says 2 days OSS. And he got 3 days OSS.
No, it says, the first offense is 1 to 2 days ISS. It isn't even OSS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They skipped to number 3, and so he was definitely treated unfairly. So that's a very big thing in this school. You have to really realize
Why do you have policies if you don't follow them?
That's right.
What is the point of making a policy if you do not follow it?
Yeah.
This goes back to scrubbing that KK policy, but I digress on that.
Yes. So they were both named in this case.
Yep.
Both Tammy and Lana.
So it says right here, still on September 16th, 2024, the school district searched this kid, this little boy, and the boy was given 3 days of out-of-school suspension.
3 days. And that's not even on their policy. It's 2 days OSS, not 3 days.
Not only did they do that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no! I lost you. You're back. It's okay. Not only did they do that, but they also put it on his official school permanent record. These notes. Cyberbullying or bullying cyber with the following detailed description.
And what we heard about that was at one point in time, he was talking about maybe going into the military or something like that, and he wouldn't be able to go now because this is on his...
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially not be able to go.
Or even, like, certain colleges might not look at him.
Yeah, because they don't want somebody that's a cyberbully. So...
Or potentially is a threat to their school.
Yes.
When he is not.
Yes.
From our opinion.
Are you trying to read this whole file thing?
No, I was just making sure that that's
what we were talking about.
Yeah, that just concluded everything, so everybody knew.
Yeah. So also, it's important on page 15. So, or no, page 14, number 62. It says, and it states, that the school resource officer, Travis Wilbanks, suggested that the snap could be considered making a terrorist threat. So, because it says Riley questioned how Dr. Pepper cans regardless of how they are arranged, were threatening. And this is what he said to her, that it could be potentially a terrorist threat.
That's a serious accusation.
Dr. Pepper cans glued together.
That's concerning.
Empty Dr. Pepper cans. I mean,
they can't even kill you with carbonation.
Yeah, no.
They're empty.
Yeah, you can't throw them at somebody's head. Watch out, it's gonna explode like a bomb. But no,
I think we're saying a lot of words we shouldn't, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, come on, run. So that's it.
Make it stop.
That's it. I don't understand. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's just
these were empty.
That is a serious
together.
That is a serious accusation, though.
It's a terrorist threat. Like, come on. That's seriously overreaching for sure. So then. And then it goes down here and it tells you about a person that commits the offense of making a terrorist threat in the school or in the second degree is if he or she recklessly disregards the risk of causing the evacuation, quarantine or closure of any portion of a building, inhabitable structures, place of assembly, or facility of transportation, and knowingly. And then it goes down to further explain that they didn't close down school. They didn't evacuate a structure. They didn't do any of that. So
they thought it was this serious, credible threat.
Yes. It was so serious that they didn't do anything about it, really. I mean, besides giving this kid OSS, which was a serious lack of judgment on their part, I think.
In your opinion?
In my... she's covering
allegedly.
She's covering our P's and Q's. So, then you want to read right here, because on 64 it goes on to say what Riley ended up saying to them.
So it says, Riley explained that she had witnessed school officials and others post pictures of actual firearms. Maybe that's the word we should have been using.
Firearms, yeah. Better.
Yeah, not all that other talk. We're getting dinged for sure. Anyway, held by adults and school-age children, and the same were not considered threats by the school district. Riley also explained she had knowledge of a student bringing an airsoft gun into a school building and parents not being notified. She also expressed concerns that her son was being targeted by school officials and that the reaction to the snaps as well as the punishment was unreasonable and not
you lost your place?
Yes, not with his actions. It didn't go with his actions. Let's see. It says the superintendent, principal, or the resource officer possessed any evidence that the son intended to commit violence against a school. At no point during September 17, 2024 meeting or afterwards did the defendant possess any evidence that the snap constituted a threat or violence against any school or person, or any person. At no point, I don't know if this is my lighting or what, but
well, it's kind of dark out here on our porch.
It said any evidence that the snap targeted any particular student for intimidation, unwanted aggressive behavior, or harassment that is repetitive or is substantially likely to be repeated and cause a reasonable student to fear for their personal safety over some Dr. Pepper cans.
So, and I want to say this, that in there it says that Tammy Heine was the one that made this decision to give this kid the 3 days OSS. She is the one that made this decision, and Lana Tharp backed her up. So that, I think, is why they're individually being sued. Also, we have heard that, like, I guess the resource, and this is just, we've heard this, the resource officer asked how many guns were in their home, and were they in a safe or not. And
which is none of their business.
That is none of their business. Why are they asking that over some Dr. Pepper cans, guys? I mean, you guys really need to be thinking about this, because if they're willing to do this, like, what? How far do you just let somebody get away with things?
Right. So, we're going to go into talk a little more about that. But I really wanted to show this art. They did an art exhibit art show. Yeah, for 5th grade students. And I think it was in Mountain View, I do believe.
Yeah, it was Mountain View Elementary.
And some of the pictures in there, you know, one thing I really tried to highlight at the beginning of this video when we were talking about it was that this kid posted this in his own home off school grounds, off school time, at home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and they reached into his home.
Yes.
Basically.
Okay, so.
Yeah, he was not on school grounds when he did this.
Yeah. So here is some of the art photos that I thought was interesting. You can decide for yourself, right? Your own opinion, what you think about these. But I want you to think about in terms of harmful things, right?
And it being on school grounds, because this was on school grounds. This was an art show.
And of course, you know, you're going to see some of these because I'm going to do one about, what is this?
This is Minecraft.
Minecraft, right? We all have kids.
That's a creeper.
That have played Minecraft. But I just want you to think of the...
Or a zombie, I'm not sure.
I just want you to think about, you know, like, here you got a kid. He's drawing art. That's it. That's it. He played some video games. You know, what Riley's son did is nothing different. He's seen something and he copied it. Yeah, just like this child did.
To make it look like that.
So, this is a Minecraft. And I don't know if you can see this, but it says TNT on it. And we all know what TNT is.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was in Mountain View Elementary at the art show.
Yep. And then we've got some just interpretive, right? Like,
I think that thing was getting eaten by a bug.
I don't know.
That guy.
Some of this art is very interesting, but
that guy's getting eaten by a bug. I think that's what that
art is interpretive, right? So, you know, judge for yourself some of this. And I'm not trying to put children on trial. That is not what I'm doing. I'm just showing you the contradiction here.
Yeah.
Because this is in school when they did this. So, okay. And I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know what these little people have in their hands and what they're doing to the other person, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Swords, maybe, wands, Harry Potter wands, I don't know. This one's interesting. It's titled B-O-M-B.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see.
You need to do the...
Yeah, this one I thought was interesting. This is called Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And they were terrorists that did that. That's what they actually do.
Gonna get dinged for that one.
Probably.
And that
Okay.
one.
So this one's really important.
Yeah, that one's, it looks like some Squid Game people.
She knows the game. I do not.
It's not a game.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's a movie.
Oh, okay. See,
It's
I
like
don't
a
even
series. It's Squid Game.
know. This is called Dorm Room. Let's just put that into perspective.
I wouldn't let my 5th graders watch that, but that's
Okay.
that's just me.
Yep. That's called Dorm Room. You can see what that person has in their hand. And it is exactly what it looks like. Let's see.
You need that. That one has.
This one,
Yeah, go ahead and make it.
yeah,
big.
I'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see. But this, whatever creature this is, it has a knife in its hand or a sword, whatever,
Whichever you'd like.
whichever
to make
you
it,
want to choose.
because it's interpretive art.
That's right. It's interpretive. Could be a butter knife. We don't know.
So
Could be a hollow butter knife.
So the point we're making is that these were on school grounds, and they had some things in them that
Yeah.
were not supposed to be drawn about or
Yeah,
something.
because they're boys
Yeah.
and they're children, and they, and they see, if like girls, they draw whimsical stuff
Normally.
normally, right? They do though. They use a lot of imagination and stuff. I'm not saying that boys don't, but this is just, you see a lot of girls drawing fairy tale things,
Yes.
but boys, boys are boys.
Yeah. It's
Boys draw a lot of stuff about
wars.
wars.
Wars and
It just is.
Yeah, and fighting
Because they're
and-
boys.
Yeah, that's just what they do.
Yes.
I mean, just like I said, they pick up some sticks and go at it, right? They start sword fighting or play a whole military game
Yes.
with a few sticks, right?
Yes.
So
And the fact that you can take art and turn that into a whole weapon to
some Dr. Pepper.
but I really wanted to highlight the fact that, that's a huge contradiction. That's a huge issue
Yes.
that, for one, they don't follow their own policies. Why have a policy if you're not going to stick to it?
No, they just skipped to number 3 of the offense, on their offense, and I have that.
Well, and then
right
they
here.
added one, right?
Well, he got 3 days instead of 2 days.
Right, OSS.
Yes.
Instead of
Instead
ISS.
of ISS.
And then he got that cyberbullying put on his school record, which is a very serious thing. And then,
It's this one here. It's this one. This one is the cyberbullying one.
yeah, the
I could show
cyberbullying.
that to them, and that has that's the cyberbullying from the handbook. And then these right here are
The offenses.
what is supposed to happen when there is a case of cyberbullying, and they just skipped. They just skipped to number 3, and then maybe even 3 days instead of 2. So that's crazy that they did that.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was his first. It would have been his first offense, not his third offense, and they skipped to number 3, and then gave him even more than what the paper said to. So,
And in my opinion, I just think, like, at what point do you, like, step back and look at the situation and be like, okay, maybe we were wrong.
yeah. Maybe admit some stuff here.
Maybe
Like,
we thought it was...
Maybe we overthinked this. Maybe we internalized some stuff here. Maybe this Dr. Pepper thing wasn't that big of a deal. I mean,
but anyways, now it has turned into a big deal. Okay, now the case, according to Howe County News,
now you can do your lawyer stuff. Your research and lawyer stuff that you
I might become a lawyer after this. I'm just saying.
Lord help us.
But anyways, the case has been moved from
state to federal.
Well, no, it's from circuit court to federal court.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but it could still be in the state.
Oh.
I looked it up. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
it
Like
could still be in Jefferson City, right? But still, I mean, it is a serious situation that everybody needs to be following.
Well, and like you said, now you need to explain how it can set a precedence.
Well, I mean,
for one thing, when we were watching the podcast earlier, the girl that reached out to us, the parent advocate lady, her name actually is Suzanne Gallagher. And she reached out to us and we watched some of her podcasts. Well, she was telling of a case where teachers had put stuff up in their room and had some parents that came against those teachers.
Yeah, because it was probably, the
alphabet,
the community stuff.
Yeah, the rainbow stuff.
Yes.
So they ended up taking her to court and they won the case. So therefore, I think this happened in California, if I'm not mistaken. But
the point is, it set a precedence.
It set a precedence that any of the teachers could put whatever they wanted in their room.
In their classroom. And like she stated, the conservative teachers aren't going to put things about sexuality and things.
Sexuality or how babies, pro-life stuff. They're not going to put that stuff, hang that stuff up. But the other side does. The other side very much wants to put it in your face. And so
in your child's curriculum, in your child's library.
Yes, and that's something that she was kind of talking to us about. So so when I say it can set a precedence, it can. It can very much make it to where they can reach into your home or on your Facebook. And you need to be aware of that. For your kids. Kids post things without thinking sometimes, and as a parent, you don't always catch it. And then when you do, you're like, "Hey, erase that. That I don't think that's good." Just kind of like when you're watching a movie. Oh, I hear that. Turn that off. We can't watch that no more. Stuff like that happens. You catch those little things. For example, my daughter was watching a show on YouTube, and I think it was like Junie or something like that. Anyways, it was a children's show, and it ended up showing a pentagram on the floor. Just a quick clip of a pentagram and candles on the floor. So I'm like, what is that? No, we're not watching that anymore. So they were just doing a little clip, a suggestion, right? Just little suggestive stuff. But you don't see those things all the time. Just like you don't see what your kid shares all the time or whatever until you do. And then you're like, oh, wait, we need to rein it in. Like, no, we're not doing any of that. So I think that's very important for parents to understand that if the school does win this case, that it could mean a lot of our rights could be encroached. So.
Yep. That's true.
Anyway.
Yep. So why would they move it? So I just thought this was just something, because things that I looked up that I thought was interesting. You may not, but so let's see. It says the Mountain View Birch Tree R3 School District lawyers are asking to move a lawsuit from a state court, the Circuit Court in Howe County to a federal court, the United States District Court for the Western District. This process is called removal, and the school district is requesting the federal court take over the case. Okay.
So they're requesting that. That should make you think, guys.
So it says a legal action filed by someone in this case, potentially a student or their representative, claiming the school district violated their rights. So a legal document filed by the defendant, the school district, requesting the case be moved from the state court to federal court. Okay, so a reason to remove a case from state court to federal court is often when a defendant believes they will have a more favorable outcome in federal court, particularly if the case involves federal law, like civil rights, right?
Yep, and your First Amendment rights.
Right? So a tactical advantage, I thought this was interesting. The defendant may also remove cases to federal court to gain certain tactical advantage, such as potentially more favorable jury pool, more consistent application of procedural rules, or a judge with more experience in similar cases. So I thought, man, that favorable jury pool, you know, if you move to a city, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to be worried about.
And it says when a court case wins, and so we were talking about that precedent, right? And why that everyone needs to be paying attention to that. So when a court case wins and sets a precedent, it means that the court's decision in that case establishes a legal rule or guideline that will be followed by future courts when deciding similar cases. This ensures consistency and predictability in the application of the law. Essentially, it creates a new standard that courts must adhere to when facing comparable legal issues.
So that's freedom of speech right there.
Yeah.
In this case.
In your own home.
Freedom of speech in your own home, and that will set a precedent in all other courts cases for your freedom of speech. Like, that's some serious stuff.
So that's basically saying, right? If I'm a parent and you post a cupcake and I'm terrified of cupcakes,
and I call
the school and say one of your students posted a picture of a cupcake, and I have a mental disease and I am severely terrified of cupcakes. You see where I'm going with this? Like,
yeah,
this,
because they make me fat. I'm just saying.
But this is supposed to be serious.
Keep the cupcakes away from me.
I'm not even gonna say it. Anyway, it's important because it can set a precedence. I mean, look at Roe versus Wade. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that documentary, or actually that movie about Roe versus Wade, but it is incredibly eye-opening. I had my kids watch that when I homeschooled my kids because I thought it was important for them to watch. And Roe versus Wade went to Supreme Court, and it set a precedence for many years. I don't know how many, but I think it was done in like the 1970s. And so it set a precedent for many, many, many years, and it just got overturned, which is just, it's wonderful. But for many years it wasn't. And a lot of people lost court cases due to that precedent of Roe versus Wade. And so, I mean, it's serious.
Yeah.
You may not think so. This just happened in Mountain View, Missouri, and it's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal.
Anyone can have a phobia of something. I don't know about Dr. Pepper cans, but anyone can have a phobia of something.
I was just using that as an example, you know, because it can be literally anything.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But then
you could post something so innocent as a cupcake, and they could have a phobia of it and use it and scream, you know.
Well, there's so much
else.
Diversity over the rainbow, even.
That's 100% true.
And so, like, I mean, who's to say someone didn't post a picture of a rainbow and it's classified as hate speech, and then you have somebody getting thrown out of school because they posted a rainbow on their own Facebook page. I mean,
we already have that with the flags and stuff. Like, just There's just so much going on with that whole thing.
Yeah.
Them flying flags about it.
But really, we wanted to bring it up because it's a civil right issue, right? And that's a big issue for us.
Yeah.
But also we wanted to bring it up because it shows the inconsistencies this school has as well.
Yeah, because they didn't follow their own rules.
They didn't follow their own policies, and which we've seen with some other things. And then also, here you have children that have created artwork inside the school, in their own classroom inside the school, that has firearms in it, has a sword or a knife in it, however you want to interpret that.
Looked like someone was being eaten by a bug.
Has TNT in it, and there was many other of them art pictures. And again, I'm not criticizing children because children draw things that they see.
Yeah,
they play video games and then they reenact video games, or
they watch Squid Games and reenact Squid Games.
I can't tell you how many times my son played when he was younger. Played Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and watched Spider-Man.
Yeah, and jumped off the walls and everything.
He went around shooting webs on everybody.
Yeah, that's just what they do.
For Spider-Man.
But he was a big, military, because his dad was in the military, so he was always at war. Always. Everywhere he went. He was at war.
But anyways, that's two things that we really wanted to bring up. And I think the next subject we're going to talk about is probably, what are we doing?
Well, we can talk about the nepotism that goes on.
Yeah.
We have a big thing here of several pages full of things to talk about. So these are just outlines of things that we have to talk about, okay? There's a lot to talk about. But specifically, we do need to bring up the nepotism that is going on within the school. We've already covered some of the biasness that goes on in this school.
But it's good to give it its own time in speaking about it, right?
Yes. There's a lot that is going on right now.
Yep.
And so, like we said, we come to you, we get new information every week about something. And we got some more information today, so that we have to look into and get facts on and figure out everything, and how to present it to you guys, because we're nothing if not thorough in our investigating. We want to make sure we bring everything factual to you. We don't want to misspeak. We want to be as transparent as possible. Mm-hmm. So in that, we are going to take our time and really make sure what we bring to you is facts. Mm-hmm. So nothing can be said otherwise. So we did want to show you guys about some books that our friend has wrote. And they're actually on Amazon right now. And so it's super fun. It's a 12-part series. Her name is Tamra Rose.
Talk about this is the rainbow.
Yep. God's rainbow. Yep. Yeah. And
we'll go more into this next time because we've been way too long. But we do want to give a shout out to her, and we do want to.
And we'll try to link it in the video on the comments. It's a beautiful, beautiful writing and stories about God and His creation and when He first created everything. Yeah. It goes over all of that. They're just such beautiful illustrations. So we'll try to find the link for you from Amazon. That way you guys can go on there if you guys want them.
We didn't ask her. We just was like, we're giving her a shout out.
Yeah, they're beautiful children's books. So if you got a grandbaby or a little baby gonna be born, perfect gifts for those. So I'm just shouting her out because we just bought this set and it's just so pretty.
It is. And it's wonderful to have good, wholesome godly content.
Yes, all of it. It goes back to God and His creations. So, all right. Well, that's all we have for today. Again, we thank you so much for watching us. On
And we'd
Porch
like to
Talks.
thank everybody that has donated to the GoFundMe.
Yes.
Thank you so
We're
much.
so grateful for that.
Yep.
We're grateful for every dollar we get. So, we're just going to keep working towards that and trying to get that consolidation paperwork for you guys. And when we get it, we'll show everybody on this public platform, because it's important that public knowledge be public knowledge. So, all right. Thank you guys for coming to Porch Talks with the Thunder Sisters. We are just so grateful. Bye, guys.
Bye.